Hi, it's Nicole from Scrapbooking by Design with this week's Tips and Technique Tuesday. So this week I just want to do a quick demonstration on bow tying. Now with the holiday season fast approaching, it's kind of one of those things that we're going to add to any special card, but the problem with some bows is that they're too bulky, and to put them into the mail we're going to have to pay additional fees. So I'm going to show two bows. One is a traditional bow and the second bow is a flat bow that you can put into the mail. So let's get started with the first bow. I'm just going to use this card here for the demonstration. Due to its arrangement of the Christmas balls, I'm just going to have the bow to the side. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get a ribbon of choice. I've chose this nice blue ribbon, and I'm actually going to keep it on the spool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it inside of the card, laying it flat, and I'm going to make sure that there's some excess. Pulling from the spool. And I think I have a good length there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with my traditional bow. So taking one piece in my right hand and the next in my left, I'm going to cross my left hand over the right piece, pulling it over, pulling it taut, okay, now I have it taut, and I'm going to take the long piece in my right hand and I'm going to create a loop. With my left hand, I'm going to take my excess on left, wrap it behind, down and through, and pulling it through that hole, holding on to the left hand side bow and pulling it taut. Now I don't want to tug it completely tight yet because I do want to adjust how those bows look. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull on the tails and then tighten the bows. When I do tighten, I either have my fingers in the middle section or actually inside the loops. Why I'm doing that is I don't actually want to create a crease. I want to make nice fluffy bows, and when I finally have it at a loop that I desire, I pull it taut, creating those nice big loops. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my scissors and I'm going to snip my tails, going on a diagonal. And the reason I'm going on the diagonal is if I'm actually to cut upward, there's a better chance for it to fray, and I know I just pulled on it. But on the diagonal, you're going to cross grain and there's nothing for it to snag on. So I'm going to just do the same thing to my other tail. Just doing one little adjustment there. And there I have the bow. Now, one thing I do want to show is this was my excess. Because I cut it off of my spool, the only excess that I have is this piece right here. Now that's pretty good considering, I have lengths of ribbon. This way I'm keeping most of the ribbon all in one tack. So if you're working on a multiple set of invitations or Christmas cards, you want to keep as much ribbon for the next card as possible. So by not cutting it in prior lengths, you're going to be able to maintain a lot more ribbon in the future. So that's our first bow. Alright, so the next bow we're going to work on is the flat ribbon bow. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the same card. We're going to get a length of ribbon that will be long enough to wrap around the front and the back. So what I usually do is I just do 1, 2, 3, because I know that is going to cover the span. And if I was actually tying a traditional bow, I'd go a little bit more, but for this one I know I will have excess, but that's okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut another length, so something like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to get that piece of ribbon that you just cut and you're going to tie a knot. So just your left over the right, bringing it around and through. But what you're going to do, instead of tying it taut, you're going to flip it over. So now you have that back loop and then the tails at the bottom. You're going to get your ribbon and you're going to put it inside of that knot. Now with the tails, you're just going to start to pull it taut and center that ribbon inside. So now you can see that there's this nice bow happening right there, and you're just pulling it a little bit tauter as you go and just adjusting the other side. And if you want to have more of a taut look, you can. For me, I just want to have it where it has that nice loop and then the bow coming out. Okay, so once I have it on my card, I will adjust it a little bit, and I'm going to tie it a little taller. So now I have the first part of it. Because the card already has its matting down, I am just going to tape it inside. So I'm just going to put it where I want on my card, bringing it around and through, and I'm just going to get some Scotch tape for this and tape it down. And this isn't pretty, but it will do just for this example. So cutting it down and having it here. So now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to work on those tails. So for this card here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one of the tails, I'm going to fold it in half so that that bias that's running down that ribbon is touching. So there's going to be a loop here. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut on a diagonal. So when you actually see it, you're creating a tail at the end. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So folding it in half and having those edges touch, getting my scissors and cutting. So now creating that same tail on both sides and just adjusting it by pulling it through so that it's even on both sides. So now you have a really elegant flat bow that can go on your Christmas card. If you don't like that length on the either side, you can just trim it down again. So that is the flat bow that can go into the mail. So the next thing I just want to quickly show is twine. Twine can add some really cute accenting, even on a masculine card where you don't want to use ribbon, you can use twine. So it comes in a variety of different colors. Most popular is probably brown, black, and red, but there is a whole bunch of different colors out there. So what you do is you just wrap it around your card, and I used 3 lengths, wrapped it around 3 times, and then I just tied it behind where I have my sentiment and die cut, just so that it will remain. And it's just a really, really cute way of adding detail. I hope that this was informative to you and that you're going to make some wonderful bows and maybe try your hand at some twine. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Have yourselves a fantastic day. Bye for now. And also a quick congratulations goes out to Rowena, 1976, for winning last week's prize. She subscribed and made a comment below, and she won herself a set of Tim Holtz Winter Distress inks. So congratulations, and you should be receiving those shortly in the mail. Hope that you all subscribe and keep watching the videos, as we'll be giving more giveaways out in the future. Have a fantastic day.